Please remember that information and advice provided on this podcast is based off my personal experiences as a young girl with ADHD. Although I do analyze, mention, and cite valid peer-reviewed sources, my podcast is not a replacement for professional medical advice. If you have concerns or questions regarding your own amazing brain and mental health, please talk to a medical provider. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which I speak to my listeners today, the peoples of the Kulin Nation. I also pay my respects to their elders, past and present. I'd also like to acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Lucie Pod. This is going to be a bit of a different episode. It might be a little shorter, so I don't know if I would call it an episode, but let's just see how we go. Although I have amazing support on social media and on my streaming platforms, it's sometimes really hard to interact with my followers and to sometimes gauge what listeners want. So I've received like a ton of private messages and comments on my personal social media with really beautiful feedback, but I want to hear even more from you when it comes to topics and questions that you have, because sometimes I feel like I've covered all the topics that one can cover on ADHD, but that's not true. The possibilities are endless and the topics are endless. And as much as I know that you love my episode topics, and some of them have even been suggested to me, I want to know more and I want to do more question-based episodes as well, where I answer a bunch of your questions and assumptions about ADHD. I am always planning on an upcoming episode, and they are coming, that goes more into depth about ADHD medication, and I want to talk about special interests, but I want to do other things as well. I love where the Lucie Pod is and where it's going, but I think it can go even further. And I would really love to have audience sort of interaction or listener interaction. I would also love to do an episode in the future about the differences between autism and ADHD. And I'd love if more autistic listeners spoke up, because I'd love to connect with them, because I think the crossover is really, really interesting. And I think ADHDs always need to stick together and work together, but I also think other neurodiverse people should do the same. So this episode is really your opportunity. I'm giving you the green card, the green light to share about what topics you would like to hear about and what questions you have and how you'd like me to talk about them and answer them. And I would really just love all of the feedback, because whilst it's all in great getting beautiful, positive feedback, I'd like to know more about what you want to see as well. As much as I love what I do, it's good to hear from listeners. So before I go on more about that, I thought I would do a little check-in and update on me, as if any of you care. So as I am recording this and as I typed a few listener notes, podcast notes, I've graduated. Like I've said, I finished my Bachelor of Arts degree and I'm waiting for all of my results. I'm also just working part-time with my 2 jobs, and they've been going really well. Because money allows you to enjoy yourself, and by enjoy yourself, I mean go out and spend money on food. There's also 2 other updates that I have, but I cannot share about them just yet. But when I do, it'll be really exciting. So there are also other things that are happening that are very exciting, that are going on in my life. Furthermore, I am still working for the ADHD Foundation as their youth ambassador, working with social media, doing behind the scenes work. They're fantastic, and I'm just really honored to be able to say that I'm their ambassador. Don't forget to follow the ADHD Foundation as well. They're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and I'll link all of this in the description. You can actually also visit their website, which is www.adhdfoundation.org.au. And if you've got questions about ADHD and you have any concerns, you actually can contact them on their national helpline, which is 1300 393919. So if you've got any questions or concerns, definitely contact them. So I'm doing all of that, and I'm really enjoying my time being graduated. It's fantastic, and without sounding like a loser, I feel very free and relaxed, and I know that in the future I'll have a lot ahead of me, but I'm going really, really well. And it was also my amazing boyfriend's birthday the other day. He turned 21, And as I always say in most of my episodes, he is the amazing editor and producer behind the Lucie Pod. Yeah, I write all of my scripts and I record them and I do all of the advertising and logos for it, but he does all of the editing and production for it. You know, he made my theme song, and look, he's an okay boyfriend. I don't know if he's better at producing or being a boyfriend. So I think that's all when it comes to my updates. And then there's the 2 things of note, which when I can say what they are, I will tell you. But as I said before, please share your feedback. Let me know what you would like to see more of. I do have upcoming ideas, but I want you to put your ideas into my upcoming episodes. Maybe I'll answer questions at the beginning of the episode or something like that. So please let your views be heard. And don't forget to follow me on whatever streaming platform that you are listening to me on. So if you listen to me on Apple Podcasts, do not forget to give me a 5-star rating. And do not forget to follow me on Instagram and Facebook at the Lucie Pod. Thank you for all of the love and support. And just don't forget to like, follow, comment, and subscribe. All right. Thank you so much. I'll see you later. Bye.